Tekken has changed. It's no longer about balance, great movement, and character identity. It's an endless series of aggressive battles fought by misguided players and influencers.
Because I feel like they're listening now. If they weren't listening before, they're definitely listening now, right?
Bamco and its consumption of Tekken's legacy has become a shell of its former self. Tekken has changed. All characters doing 50-50 situations carried by heat engagers, using heat dash to keep their offense pressure going. Tekken 8's new mechanic Heat enhances and turns every character into a second Tag 2 character. Chip damage on block, homing throws, unblockable counter throws, safe homing meds. Heat is not monitored and kept under control.
Michael Murray, you and me, when you're around next time, give me a call. I want to buy you dinner. We gotta talk, dude. We gotta talk, man. I want some of that marijuana that you guys are smoking over there at the Namco Police Department. Where did you guys get that shit, dude?
Tekken has changed. The age of great Tekken has become the age of aggressive play, all in the name of streamlining gameplay and homogenization of characters. And he who starts their offense 50-50 gameplay controls the rest of the match. Tekken has changed. When the game's legacy is completely wiped out for strong offense play, offense becomes routine. How did we get here to this point? Over 30 years of history with the series, just for it all to come crashing down and transform Tekken overall into an abomination.
So, what seems to be the problem?
It all started when I was born.
I look back at the early days of coming home from school, watching a YouTube set between me and Tetsuo, one of my favorite lay players of all time. Hopping on T5DR online, getting lost into the void, playing back to back. Tekken 8 Season 2 is such a joke right now that even RDC World is talking about it.
Hey, they literally killed Tekken with that update, bro.
How they kill Tekken with the update?
Bro, like they tried to make the game more balanced and shit, right? And they gave like every character got like a few new moves and shit, right? First of all, my character is like done. They hold the fuck out of Lee. Lee's probably like, he probably the sorriest nigga on the game in Tekken, bro. Please update that bitch and change it back, bro. Y'all niggas can do that.
This just tells me for even folks outside of the competitive community to be talking about it and acknowledge how bad it is, you have a problem on your hands. This makes me think back to when I made my mocap history video for Tekken and seeing the nightmarish process that was Tekken 1 through 2 and somewhat 3 through the original arcade director for the game. Their development process has been where people just come in and out, adding their own moves, mechanic ideas, or even removing previous devs' work. It's a too many cooks situation and lets me know that there truly was never a grounded vision for this game overall. Many of the things we enjoyed mechanic-wise, KBD, were all happy accidents. It is what it comes down to. I never would have envisioned a massive scale of damage to the Tekken brand like this. The fact I see Season 2 is in such a disarray is nearly causing Kokoma to relapse into smoking again.
Oh, I cannot play this shit game anymore. I need a break time. Even I think it's wrong that we should not call this is not game. We should not call this is game. Yo guys, before season 2 came, I quit the cigarette. I just smoked the pipe. I did a cigarette. I definitely need cigarette.
There is a strong disconnect between the community. It really feels like they have no clue what's going on with their very own game, nor actually play the game to a degree in understanding the problems we have with the game. Along with having someone like Michael Murray being the voice person for the community, in which I believe he is the only English speaking person there. Blocking people on social media for any constructive criticism is never the way to go about this, and it's also, to me, it's just very childish. It just breaks my heart to see one of the fighting games I grew up with, put so much time into getting better as a player, is just flushed down the drain. All I'm trying to say is that I really just do not recognize this franchise anymore, just with the constant changes, the updates of them just adding stuff on top of previous problems that have already been there, especially with heat, chip damage, all these homing mids, and so many different things that we can sit there and list. But the biggest damning thing of it all, in my honest opinion, is the character and player expression is completely gone, completely removed from the aspect of where everyone is playing exactly the same way. The same situations play out. As soon as heat is activated, it is the same exact scenario, one for one. And that is such a shame. And I grew up with this series so much throughout, like, the more I think about it, like, literally a giant part of my life. I didn't really discover Taken until Taken 3, but then I also went back and played Taken 2, never played Taken 1, and from then on out, I was pretty much hooked as a fan, and I really didn't start a lot of my competitive journey, is what I can say, is when I really became an online warrior, mainly while going to school and stuff in junior high, when Taken 5 Dark Resurrection Online dropped, and going into Taken 6 Online is really when I started to just play and sit down and really just get into the game. But I really didn't start going to tournaments for this until Tag 2, and that's when I was roughly trying to study the game. Like, stuff like this is what I am proudful of. Proudful or prideful? Prideful for. Mainly just for the aspect alone that this was like something of me stepping out of my comfort zone as a kid, and even just having my mother bring me to one of my very first experiences, going to a tournament at GameStop. And this was during the time when MLG was still around, and they were doing MLG Dallas and all these other different stuff for Taken 6. But this was a stepping stone to me of where I got to see what it was like doing tournaments and everything. And that's where a big part of just competition with Taken, what I ended up loving. And it is such a shame to really just see this game devolve this way. And by the time we got to Taken 7 was really when I went full stop, just traveling everywhere, all over West Texas and out of state, everywhere. And the fact that I was able to get as far as I did during the Taken World Tour of 2019, of really like sitting there traveling and just playing my boy Lei Wulong, and despite the placements of where I ended up getting, I am still very proudful to like really just see that how far it was able to like just take me, of just really just sitting down and learning this game. But every time I look at Taken 8, I really just can't do it. I get so frustrated. I get so angry. The fact that you are like just so forced to play this certain way. You can't really, like, in a sense, freestyle of how the way you want to go about approaching situations. If you want to sit there and turtle, you can. If you want to sit there and turn up the jets and then see how the way your opponent reacts, you can do that. Or you can sit there and go into doing mind games and see how they get flustered when getting up off the ground. You can't really do many of that stuff anymore, since now they're just alienating of making it just friendly for every single person, just making everything so streamlined, so easy to do, and making every character play exactly the same way. Like 50-50 characters are not really special anymore. Like 50-50 stance characters, it's really not a special thing anymore. And I came to the conclusion, I don't even know if I want to see Lei Wulong in this, just because of after seeing how the way they drastically changed so much of Eddie Gordo, Lydia, and Heihachi to these characters that, to me, in my honest opinion, they're not much recognizable. Especially Heihachi, who used to be just really just a straight rushdown character that really didn't have stances like that, who had nearly almost every single good tool except for a low. He just had very crappy lows, and the fact that now he's such a stance heavy character, and once Warrior's instinct like just kicks in, you're just dead. You're dead immediately as soon as that's activated. Like, just crazy stuff like this is already like too much in my honest opinion, and I really don't know what else we can do. I don't know if we can ever really just see Tekken go back to how it used to be. Like, how much I really just grew up with this franchise. Like, you can even just see the shirt. Like, this is the type of stuff that I ended up getting, like, from the GameStop tournament event. Like, just stuff like that. And it's such a shame, man. And at this point, I'm really just been playing other stuff, and also just doing more stuff outside is the best way I could really just say, just with family and everything. But really, I just been getting back into Tag 2, and then even just going back to what really started off my competitive bug in Tekken, just DR Online on the PS3 emulator. So I mainly just been doing stuff like that, and probably real soon I may end up just doing some community events and stuff like that of those classic games and just many other different games. So I'm even getting back into Project Justice, even just been playing stuff like that again, because that and Taken is like the big things that really just made me fall in love with fighting games. Like, really just those two series. And also on top of that, well, I can't just reveal too much, but I will over time. But anyways, folks, I just wanted to take the time and just talk about this and even just reflect of just so much of the history of how the way I really just grew up with this franchise. And oh, I forgot to mention, if you're curious about like with the with Tekken 5 DR Online, what I used to go by back in the day, dude, your boy played Dragunov, Lei, and Wong. I was like, if I remember those ranks right, it was like Dragon Lord as Dragunov. I used to go by Solid Terry. A play on words with Solid and then Terry on top of that. So if any of you guys recognize that old gamer tag, yeah, that was me. And I'm sure you could probably find that like on the PS3 servers, like if that is still like up to this day. But anyways, y'all, it's Blackmore here, signing out. I'll catch y'all later, and hopefully a lot of us Taken fans out there that you guys able to find something, or at least be able to go back to playing some of the previous older titles, because that's also another thing. We don't have the luxury of what other fighting games out there have, to where they can be able to go back to like some iteration of a past game. We really don't have that beyond Taken 7. So if we wanted to play some of the older titles, we would have to like really either through emulator or still have those older systems on deck. But we'll end up figuring something out. But anyways, y'all, I'll catch y'all later. Y'all stay safe out there and keep on gaming, especially. Don't let this get y'all down. And on top of that, I'm just, at this point, I really just don't feel like supporting Namco and the Tekken team really on any future stuff. Like, they've already took my money when it comes to with the season 1 pass and everything like that. So at this point, I really rather not invest more into a company that obviously does not really care or in tune with their community as it is like we thought they were. And it is such a tone deaf approach of how the way they've been going about things. So I rather not put my energy into that and just continue doing what I'm doing on the channel. So anyways, y'all stay safe out there. Later, y'all.
The study of Kung Fu fighting